It's 2 a.m. Your baby just woke up crying again. You fed them 2 hours ago, so they can't be hungry, right? You're exhausted, confused, and wondering what you're doing wrong. Here's the truth. It's probably not about food at all. Today, I'm going to show you the real science behind why your baby wakes up every 2 hours, and trust me, understanding this will change everything. If you're watching this at 3 in the morning with a crying baby in your arms, I see you. I know you're tired. I know you've tried everything. But here's what nobody tells you. Those constant wake-ups aren't because you're failing as a parent. There's actually fascinating science behind your baby's sleep patterns that has nothing to do with hunger. In the next few minutes, we're going to dive deep into your baby's sleep cycles. We'll explore why their little brains are wired to wake up so frequently. I'll show you how to tell the difference between a hungry cry and a habit wake-up. And most importantly, I'll give you practical strategies that actually work. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's happening in your baby's developing mind, and you'll have a clear plan to help both of you get better sleep. Complete baby sleep script. Main sections. Here's something that will blow your mind. Your baby's sleep works completely differently than yours. While you cycle through sleep stages every 90 to 120 minutes, your little one completes an entire sleep cycle in just 60 to 90 minutes. That's almost half the time. But here's the shocking part. Babies naturally wake up between every single cycle. Yes, you heard that right. Every hour to hour and a half, your baby's brain is programmed to briefly surface from sleep. This isn't a problem to fix. It's not something you caused. It's pure biology at work. Think of it like a built-in safety mechanism from thousands of years ago when babies needed to check that mom was still nearby. Nowhere's where it gets really interesting. Around 4 months old, your baby's sleep cycles start maturing and becoming more like yours. But during this transition, those wake-ups often increase, not decrease. I know, it sounds backwards, but this temporary phase means their little brain is actually developing exactly as it should. Those 2 a.m. crying sessions. That's your baby's nervous system doing exactly what nature designed it to do. Let me tell you something most parents never learn until their second or third baby. Those frequent wake-ups have very little to do with an empty stomach. Your baby's internal systems are still forming, and sleep is where the magic happens. First, their circadian rhythm, that internal body clock that tells us when to sleep and wake, doesn't even exist yet. They literally have no concept of day versus night. Their melatonin production won't kick in properly until around 3 to 4 months old. But here's what's really fascinating. During the second half of the night, your baby spends most of their time in light sleep. This means they're much more sensitive to every sound, every temperature change, every tiny discomfort. Meanwhile, their rapidly developing brain is working overtime. Neural connections are forming at an incredible rate. Memory consolidation is happening. Growth hormones are surging. All of this intense development creates more opportunities for brief awakenings. And then there's the comfort factor. Your baby spent 9 months in the ultimate comfort zone. Warm, secure, constantly hearing your heartbeat. Now they're in this big, sometimes cold, often quiet world. When they wake up, they're not necessarily hungry. They're checking, am I safe? Am I alone? Is everything okay? Sometimes they just need to know you're still there. This is completely normal, completely healthy, and completely exhausting for you as a parent. This is where things get really practical. Learning to read your baby's signals will save your sanity and help you respond appropriately. True hunger has very specific signs that are hard to miss once you know what to look for. A genuinely hungry baby will root around, turning their head and opening their mouth like they're searching for food. You'll see active sucking motions, even when nothing's in their mouth. Their hands might move toward their face, and they'll often make those little lip-smacking sounds. Here's the real test. A truly hungry baby will take a full feeding when offered. They'll drink with purpose and seem satisfied afterward. Hunger-based wake-ups also tend to happen on a somewhat predictable schedule, usually every 2 to 4 hours depending on your baby's age and whether you're breastfeeding or formula feeding. Now contrast that with habit wake-ups or comfort-seeking behavior. These babies might fuss briefly, but the crying often stops quickly if you just give them a moment. They might accept a feeding, but they don't drink much or they fall asleep almost immediately. The timing is inconsistent, maybe 90 minutes one night, 3 hours the next. Sometimes they'll go back to sleep with just your presence, a gentle pat, or being picked up briefly. The shocking truth? Many parents are feeding babies who aren't actually hungry, which can create a cycle where the baby learns to expect food every time they wake up. Breaking this pattern doesn't mean letting your baby cry. It means learning to offer comfort in different ways first. Let's talk about realistic expectations, because this is where many parents set themselves up for frustration. If your baby is 0 to 3 months old, wake-ups every 2 to 3 hours are not just normal, they're necessary. Your baby's stomach is tiny. Their nervous system is immature, and they genuinely need frequent check-ins with you. This is not the time to expect long stretches of sleep. Between 4 to 6 months, something counterintuitive happens. Sleep often gets worse before it gets better. This is when those sleep cycles are maturing, and your baby might actually wake up more frequently. I know it sounds cruel, but this phase means development is happening exactly as it should. After 6 months, most babies have the neurological capability to sleep for longer stretches, though every baby develops at their own pace. Here's what you can actually do, starting around 3 to 4 months. When your baby wakes up, wait just a moment before rushing in. Give them 30 seconds to a minute to see if they'll settle back down on their own. Many babies will fuss briefly and then return to sleep without any intervention. Create a consistent sleep environment. Same temperature, same darkness level, same white noise if you use it. Understanding that sleep regressions are temporary phases, not permanent setbacks, will help you stay sane during the tough weeks. Most importantly, focus on comfort strategies before assuming hunger. Sometimes a gentle pat, a quiet shush, or just your presence is exactly what your baby needs to feel secure enough to return to sleep. This doesn't mean sleep training or cry-it-out methods. It means learning your baby's unique communication style and responding appropriately. I need you to hear this clearly. You're not doing anything wrong. Those Instagram posts showing babies sleeping 12 hours straight at 8 weeks old? That's not the norm. That's the exception, and it doesn't mean those parents are better than you or that their babies are healthier than yours. Every baby is different, and frequent night wakings are incredibly common. This phase is temporary, even though it feels endless when you're in the thick of it. Your baby's sleep patterns will naturally mature over time. Their circadian rhythm will develop. Their nervous system will calm down. Their sleep cycles will lengthen. Most babies show significant improvement between 4 to 6 months, with many achieving longer sleep stretches by their first birthday. Your baby isn't broken. You're not failing as a parent. Those 2 a.m. wake-ups aren't happening because you're doing something wrong or because your baby is more difficult than others. Your little one is simply following their biological programming, and that programming is designed to keep them safe, help them grow, and ensure they get the connection they need to develop properly. Some nights will be harder than others. Some weeks will feel like you're moving backward instead of forward. This is all part of the normal progression of infant sleep development. Be patient with your baby, but more importantly, be patient with yourself.